I am Michaela Walker, and today I am going to be talking about the periodic table. Lavoisier assembled a catalog of elements that were known at the time, and it had 23 elements. In the 1800s, more elements were discovered, and electricity was invented. The spectrometer was invented, and that had helped with finding more elements. In 1864, Newland had proposed a new way of organizing the elements. He found a pattern that when the elements were arranged by their increasing atomic masses, their assets had repeated with every eighth element. The first and eighth elements had similar properties. Mayer discovered periodic trends and patterns he saw with the atomic values of the elements. Mendeleev developed the periodic classification of the elements, and he had found the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic weight, which had shown a recurring pattern. Moseley had used his own equipment he made himself to prove that every element's identity is determined by the number of protons it has. Valence electrons. Electrons in the highest principal energy level. Valence electrons in period. The energy level of an element's valence electrons indicates the period on the periodic table in which it is found. Valence electrons and group number. A representative element's group number and the number of valence electrons it contains are related. Okay. S block is 1A and 2A. 1A only has one valence electron and electron configurations ending in S1. In 2A, they have completely filled s orbitals containing two valence electrons and electron configurations ending in S2. These right here are the p block elements. The p block elements consist of groups 3A, which is right here, and 8A. And why are there no period or elements, p block elements in period 1? And the answer is that the p block sublevel does not exist for the first principal energy level. And the first p block element is boron. The p block spans 6 groups on the periodic table because the 3 p orbitals can hold a maximum of 6 electrons. The s and p blocks comprise the representative or group A elements. D block, which is right here. The D block contains the transition metals and is the largest of the blocks. Although there's a number of exceptions, D block elements are characterized by a filled outermost s orbital of energy level n, or partially filled or partially filled d orbitals of energy level n -1. As you move across the period, electrons fill the d orbitals. F block elements are the ones on the bottom right here. And the F block contains the inner transition metals. The F block elements are characterized by a filled or partially filled outermost s orbital and filled or partially filled 4f and 5f orbitals. The electrons of F sublevel do not fill their orbitals in a predictable manner because there are 7 f orbitals holding up a maximum of 14 electrons, and the F block spans 14 columns of the periodic table. And the S, P, D, and F block determines the shape of the periodic table. Alright, and then there's periodic trends. So, atomic radius is the atomic size that is defined by how closely an atom lies to a neighboring atom. Patterns do show in the periodic table as like with atomic sizes as they emerge as you look across the period. There's a decrease in atomic radii as you move left to right across the period. Atomic radii increases as you move down a group. The nuclear charge increases and the electrons are added to to successfully higher principal levels. Ionization energy is the energy required to remove an electron from a gaseous atom. The Octet Rule states that atoms tend to gain, lose, or share electrons in order to acquire a full set of 8 valence electrons. Electronegativity of an element indicates the relative ability of its atoms to attract electrons in a chemical bond. And then, these are the periodic table trends. As you move across, right here, the ionization energy increases, and it also increases as you go, decreases as you move, as you move left and right, it increases. As you move up or down, it decreases. And then electronegativity, as you move across the group, it electronegativity. As you move left or right, it increases. As you move down, down or up, it decreases. And then your non-metallic character goes that way, metallic character goes that way. Atomic radius, as you move this way, it gets smaller. As you move down, it gets bigger. And yeah. And those are my sources. And that was my video on the periodic table